Hello, happy International Women's Day. How is everybody? I hope you're safe and well. Had a lovely weekend. Very nice to see you. Hi, everybody. Gosh, you're so quick, aren't you, to join? Hi, hello. Very nice to have you with me. Let's get our friends on Facebook. Hopefully this will work. Oh, it says, rotate my phone. I'm going to start that again. Let's see if this works. I don't know why. I'm going to try that again. Live. Start live. No, it doesn't seem to want to be that way round. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to turn Facebook the other way. These things are sent to try us, aren't they? Okay. Hello, Facebook. Hopefully I'm the right way round now. Sorry, it's a slightly weird setup, isn't it, now, because it's gone that format. But anyway, as long as you can see me, hear me, that's good. Happy International Women's Day, just saying to our friends on Facebook. Hi Victoria, hi Prairie Farm, hi Sarah Lou, hi Julia. Lovely to see you all. My goodness, jam-packed today we are. Female focus. Yes, that's going to be today. So I'm going to be joined by a great female founder of a brand. Got lots of shout outs to founder-led brands run by women, just celebrating all things female today. So yeah, why not? Thank you very much. This is a shirt that I'm wearing from Carol McEwen, who is on Instagram. I've talked about her before, and she is just a small one-woman band making things beautifully, ethically in London. And if you want her details, you have to join her mailing list because she doesn't even have a website. She's that small. Yeah, so you have to be in the know. It's one of those little kind of private, secret things that I share with you. So a few other shout outs to amazing women in business I'm going to be talking about today. So Ginny Boscawen, she is actually at Talcum Dairy. Now, Talcum Dairy were a brand that I talked about this time last year. I think it was almost the first mention ever on my IGTV lives and Facebook. And I came across them because they make amazing handmade Easter eggs. And they do so many other things. They are a bean-to-bar chocolate maker based in Devon. So they get the beans, they make their own chocolate bars and all of that. We've got a lovely Liz Loves 10% discount. This was what I showed you, actually, I think on Friday. And look, how good am I? I resisted the temptation to eat any of it. This is their Mother's Day hamper. So maybe I'll save it till Sunday. And it's got in it 5 of their lovely bean-to bars. It has some white chocolate buttons. How special. It has 4 of these little mini bars. So like kind of little mini treat. You could have a whole bar just yourself. And this amazing thing, this is a cocoa butter candle. And I took the lid off. Oh my goodness, the smell of this, if you are a chocolate lover, it's that lovely warm vanilla-y smell. Absolutely love it in a little tin with gold flecks on it. Isn't that lovely? So you could maybe keep the chocolate and give the candle, or vice versa. Or if you're feeling generous, just give the whole thing. Anyway, we have Liz Loves on that as well. So just in time for Mother's Day, that's Talcum Dairy. And they have lots of amazing women in their business. So Ginny says that she runs the South East office. So ensuring customers receive their deliveries, never loses her cool and enthusiasm. Ellen, who runs the retail shops, motivates her team treats everyone with kindness. Isn't that so nice? Kindness, such a great attribute. Kirsty is running e-commerce, and so she balances business and work with her daughter Molly's hectic ballet schedule. You know what that's like, a bit of a family juggle. Hayley Rutherford is their technical manager who keeps the factory and office running like clockwork while being a mum to Jessie. Rita, she makes and wraps all the chocolate and has learned English since arriving from Poland a few years back, not speaking a word. Well done, Rita. Lucia, she's the lady that I deal with. Hi, Lucia. And she, as well as organising 4 children, develops the new ice cream and chocolate flavours. What a job. Chocolate flavour developer. That's what I'd like to do. And then Teresa is their bookkeeper. And it says she keeps the figures in order and is trying to retire, but we won't let her. Anyway, thanks, Lucia. Big shout out to all you lovely ladies down in Salcombe. Now, one brand that I have used myself genuinely for years and years and years, and I've talked about it here since being first introduced it by another fab female, Kerry September, my lovely makeup artist, is Dr. Lipp. Now, Dr. Lipp started life as basically one product, as far as I remember, which is this pure medical grade lanolin, which you use on your lips and any kind of little bits of chapped skin. It's a kind of natural lip glosser. I love it. I've long been a fan of lanolin in skincare. You can get medical grade lanolin. It's just so good and so safe and just a really good thing. So I've been tracking Dr. Lipp's progress, and they have given us a Liz Loves discount on all their things, which is great. So Dr. Lipp, let me just find the details so I can give them to you in case you want to look them up. It's drlipp.com, that's DRLIPP, Dr. Lipp. And they've given us 15% off all their lovely things, and I do highly rate them. So let's see whether we have got them in the house, see whether I can do a split screen. Let's see all. Where are we? Yes, here we go. Ponintine, who is their founder. So really looking forward to this because I've known the brand for a long time, but never actually connected directly with them live. So hi.
Hi Liz, lovely to see you. Thank you so
Really
much.
Nice. Oh, it's such a pleasure. Thank you for joining me on International Women's Day. Really special day.
Yes, it is.
Tell us, where are you talking to us from?
Right, well, I'm in Verbier in the Swiss Alps at the moment. This is where I live.
You're not. How amazing.
I was going to shoot outside. It's been on and off weather today. So I'm now sitting inside. It's a bit warmer.
Oh, so you've got that lovely fresh mountain air. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it's heaven up here.
I was looking at my diary. I was supposed to be going skiing with the children in a few weeks' time, but alas, that's not going to happen. So you'll have to just...
Well, it's difficult in these days, isn't it? With COVID.
You have to channel some good vibes. But you've been safe and well and happy over there, have you?
Yes, very safe and well up here. And I feel so blessed to be out here because we can go skiing, go out into the mountains where there's nobody. So at least we get some exercise and fresh air and some...
So is everything open? Are all the lifts and things open for you?
In Verbier, the lifts are all open. So it's France, Italy, Austria, they've all closed down their lifts, but Switzerland has kept their lifts open.
Gosh, so amazing to have all that space just for a few people.
I know. So we go with our masks in the lifts, and sometimes we don't even use the lifts because we skin up the mountains. We put skins underneath our skis, and then we climb up the mountains to then ski down.
That sounds incredibly hard work and incredibly healthy. And presumably an ingredient like lanolin for protecting your face and anything that's visible in that really, really cold mountain air is just an absolute godsend.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, we get very dry skin up here because there's very little humidity and there's so much heating in the houses, and then you're outside sometimes with some harsh wind or strong sun. So to use lanolin on your face or in your hands or wherever you get the dry bits is amazing, and it's a godsend. I mean, I wouldn't be able to survive up here without it.
Yeah, no, I can absolutely imagine that. So tell us about your journey as a female founder. When and how did it all start for you?
Wow. Okay. So I was actually living in Milan. I did a master's in industrial design in Milan, and I was designing handbags, and amongst other things, I was doing furniture, art, handbags, all sorts of things. And I invented this material, which was a mixture of plastic and resins and silk, and started making handbags of that. And at the same time, I suffered a lot from a lot of eczema, and so I started my handbag business, which I ran for a few years before I then started Dr. Lipp, and just to pile on a little bit of extra work.
Yeah, why not? Like we do as women.
Yes.
Oh, I'll just do another thing.
I'll just do another thing. It's got a great idea. But what happened was that I was living in Milan, and I actually got celiac disease. So that means you're very, very sensitive to gluten. I didn't know it at the time, and I ended up with a lot of eczema on my face, on my hands, and lots of places. And I went to see lots and lots of doctors, and they all tried cortisone and all sorts of different creams on me, and nothing worked. And one day a friend of mine said, well, why don't you try some nipple balm? And I was like, okay, I'll try some nipple balm. And so I tried some nipple balm, and I could feel immediately that it worked. I mean, you could just immediately feel it.
Yeah.
And the itchiness would go away. And so for years, I wandered around with this big, huge, industrial-sized, clunky tube of lanolin, which is what a lot of nipple balms are made of.
Yeah.
And one day I said to a friend of mine, who was then head of marketing for Stella McCartney, I said, gosh, this stuff is just so good. More people should know about it. And because you're not going to think to go down the breastfeeding aisle to look for nipple balm to put on really dry skin or eczema or these kind of things. And she funny said, she said, well, funny enough, I used to work for Gerna. Maybe we can call them up and find a tube supplier and a manufacturer. And so that's what we did. And we went to Nikki Kinnard at Space NK and said, listen, I got this idea of taking nipple balm out of the breastfeeding market and introducing it into the beauty market. And that's what happened.
And that's
very quick. Yeah. And very quickly we became third bestseller out of 28 different lip balms. And and so that was the beginning of the journey. And then as things evolved, I realized this nipple balm, lip balm was just so good for so many things. I used to use it not just on my lips, but I'd use it to sort of like, straighten my, ruly eyebrows.
Through eyebrows, that's what I do. Yes. And I have to say, actually, on the eczema side, it is so good for little patches of eczema. I mean, I have eczema, but I managed to control it, and the same with my children. But particularly when I'm stressed or the central heating, as you say, has been on and the skin gets really dry, I do put little dots of this, just if I get a little patch. And it's so soothing and it's so good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad you tried it for that. Because I have a friend of mine, she has a lot of eczema on her eyelids. And she's tried all the different products that all the different doctors have given her. And then she puts on Dr. Lipp, and it's gone in a day or two.
Amazing. And you're seeing me here, I'm actually rubbing it on my nails because I just find it so good for really dry cuticles as well. I can't resist it. I mean, if I've got a little tube in my hand, I'll just start to do this automatically. So moving on from that, something that I introduced to our lovely community here are these amazing little tints.
Yes.
And this was just so special because you're using just natural vegetable pigment. So this one is one of my favorites. It's sweet potato.
You got the sweet potato, the pink one.
Which is really just a really pretty pinky colour. So how easy was it to get the colours from vegetables and put them in a lip balm?
Very difficult, because it's very difficult to get them stable. But we wanted to really stay true to our 100% natural claim, which is very, very difficult to do. But we were lucky to find somebody that made natural plant-based pigments that are 100% natural. And the amazing thing is they're really rich in natural antioxidants. So not only have you got a natural pigment, but you've also got something that's naturally rich in that antioxidants.
Yeah, so really good for your skin anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's this.
Yes.
So this is actually the colour that I've got on at the moment. And thank you very much, by the way, for giving us our Liz Loves discount, because I know everyone's going to want to try these. This is the beetroot one.
Yep, I'm wearing that one right now.
Are you? Yeah, it's so good. But you just want a bit of something, a little bit of colour.
Yeah.
I'll pop somewhere. Need a mirror. And it's just immediately your lips feel soft and plump and smooth.
Yeah. And you got the 50 milligrams of CBD, which is a lot. There's a high dose of CBD, really high.
Okay, now this is something I really want to talk to you about, because we've written about CBD oil and the kind of CBD derivatives in the magazine recently. And this one, there's two in this pack. This has, what has this got? This has got the medical grade.
So one is just natural
oil. So tell us about this. Why is CBD oil so good? Why did you put it in a skincare product?
Right. So there's many ways of doing CBD. What we did is we chose to do the maximum potency of CBD that we could possibly put in here, and that's how we ended up with 50 milligrams of CBD as opposed to 1 gram or 2 grams like this. So we really wanted something that would be an additional add-on to our, fabulous lanolin, but that would have more, how do you say, healing powers or treatment, more treatment. And so we tried to get as much of the CBD as we could, mixed in with the lanolin. So the green tube is just the lanolin mixed with the CBD, 2 ingredients. And I love the simplicity of that, just two ingredients.
Well, would this be good then if you were using it on little patches of eczema? Do you think the CBD
definitely
would be good?
Yes, I think it would be excellent on eczema, sunburn.
Oh, great!
It's also sort of CBD is also really good for smoothing out any pigmentation on your skin. So so it evens it out. It's also just really healing and just soothing of the skin. So it sort of really helps it to, you know, when you get the flaky bits, just helps smooth it and soothe it.
So this is not going to get us high. This is not some kind of illegal.
Yeah, well, the THC levels are so low, they're almost negligible. So no, it's definitely not going to get high.
Okay, you're not going to go around sniffing our tubes of CBD or when we get stressed.
No, definitely not.
So specifically for the skin, is this why we're seeing more CBD skincare kind of really cropping up now, because it has these healing and soothing properties topically on the skin?
Yes, I think stress expresses itself very visibly in your skin. Yeah. And so CBD is really good for counteracting stress and counteracting the effects of stress on your skin and how it expresses itself. And so we put CBD in our products for that reason, especially if you've got really dry lips and you know when you get the flaky bits coming out.
Yeah, and then they get chapped. And I've got a youngster who tends to lick his lips a lot. And then you get the real kind of really awful sort of redness that surrounds the lips. And it's so painful and it's so hard. And you shouldn't really be using mineral oil chapsticks and things like that, because when I've used them in the past, I found that they haven't really worked.
That's right. They sort of glide around on the surface and they don't really the amazing thing with the lanolin is that it penetrates, but also creates a surface film on top of your skin. So it has a double action. Not only does it sort of penetrate and moisturize the surface layers of your skin, but it also stops too much vapor evaporating. So it has a double way of working to protect yourself, to rehydrate your skin, really.
And what I find interesting about lanolin is, you know, as you say, it has kind of come from the breastfeeding and nipple cream aisle of the chemist, and it's considered so safe when you think about it, that you can actually give it, you know, to newborn babies to eat. Because if you imagine, if you're using it as a nipple cream and then you're feeding, you know, it's got to be something that's safe enough for even a newborn to be ingesting with no worries.
That's right. You got it in one. I mean, you're licking your lips all day long, and so whatever you put on your lips, you're going to be ingesting as well. You're eating.
Yeah, it's really true.
You don't want to be putting things on your lips that are not good for you. And a lot of the lipsticks nowadays, they tend to have, you know, quite strong chemicals in them.
Well, they're cool. I mean, when you read the ingredient listing of a lipstick, it might have, I don't know, 20 different things in it. Yeah. And as you say, you're actually eating those things.
Yeah. And you're licking your lips and you're ingesting it every single day as you wear that lipstick. Yeah. So that's why we wanted to really stay true to the 100% natural again, and make sure that what we put on our lips is something that you can ingest and it's okay. And like you said, with the nipple balm, you know, newborn babies they're ingesting the nipple balm when they're in effect breastfeeding, and it's totally safe. So obviously you're not going to want to eat, you know, kilos of it.
No, but exactly. But those little traces that inevitably, you know, end up ingesting. Now, tell us about the kind of the history of lanolin a little bit, because I remember when I was first writing about eczema, you know, we're going back 30 years, and I was always really keen on lanolin. And it seems that it had a bit of a bad rap, didn't it? Because there were some wrong studies. Again, gosh, how many times in my life do I have to start talking about wrong studies and kind of breaking down myths and misinformation? Because lanolin actually is very safe, isn't it, for sensitive skin?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question what you bring up. The history of lanolin actually dates back all the way to 90 AD, and it was one of the first ingredients listed.
90 AD.
So
2,000 years.
Yeah, I know, right? It was one of the ingredients in the world's first ever pharmacopoeia, which is basically the Bible of ingredients that you can use for healing yourself. And so mankind has been using it for thousands of years.
It comes from the sheep wool, doesn't it? When the sheep are sheared, and I know this because I've had sheep here on my farm, and they get a haircut, and then the fleeces get taken away, and then you can extract the lanolin, which is the natural sort of waterproofing protection.
That's right. That's right. They shear the sheep, and then they boil the wool, and the grease floats to the surface, and then they take that off, and then they purify that, because nowadays we've got a lot of environmental pollutants and pollutants from farming. And so just a little bit like you might need to purify your water when you extract that from your source.
And that's what gives you the medical grade lanolin.
Exactly. So then you've got different levels of purity. Now, what was really interesting was that lanolin was the pillar of the whole cosmetics industry. And so Nivea was launched over 100 years ago.
Nivea, really?
So Nivea was lanolin mixed with water in the beginning.
No, I didn't know that.
And then because they needed because the water content, they needed to add the preservatives, and then they started adding perfume and then other things. Yeah. But what happened was that then lanolin, the price of lanolin went really, really high, because they were using lanolin for the vitamin D content in it in fish food. Not many people know that.
Of course, it would be high in vitamin D, wouldn't it, as well?
Yes. So the price of lanolin skyrocketed, which meant that a lot of the Niveas of the world, they started using less lanolin because it was expensive, and started using plant-based alternatives instead. Right. And at that time, I guess the purification processes weren't as good as they are today for getting out the environmental pollutants, and so the lanolin got this name of a lot of brands like Boots started making free from lanolin products, but yet pharmacologists and formulation scientists still consider it as one of the most effective emollients you can possibly put in your skin. And it's so complex in structure, they can't make anything as good synthetically.
Isn't that so interesting? I love the fact that you've got those fat soluble vitamins in there, and it, as we say, it is so safe and so pure. It's a shame actually that it really kind of fell out of fashion, but I can imagine that once things become expensive and formulators might be looking to do a bit of cost cutting, it's
side, exactly. But it's still so good, and what I love about it is that you can have one ingredient in a tube rather than having 50 that nobody really understands, or it's hard to understand what's inside. So it's so easy to explain what's in it. And lanolin itself is such a complex, structure of molecules, of oils and waxes in itself, that it's a very complete ingredient in its own right. So you'll notice is that the farmers that shear the sheep, they all have beautiful, soft, wrinkle-free hands.
Love it. What a great side effect. I've just been asked a question. I can see my friends in Kenya tuning in from Specialized Safaris. Hi, guys. Talking about the beetroot one here, which is the one that I'm wearing, which I love, saying, does it not stain your lips, the beetroot?
No, it doesn't stain your lips. You'll notice that it's got a staining. You've got the oil. Yeah, it doesn't stain.
I have to say I haven't noticed that when it's gone, it's gone. I quite like it to stain them actually, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not a strong color. It's a nice, light, gentle tint. So it looks very natural. And if you get a little bit of outside of your lips, it's not gonna. It's not like your skin is then stained and
it's not like you're rubbing lipstick over your face. I love that idea that actually, when you lick your lips or you're having a sip of something, a drink of something, and you're obviously taking a little bit of whatever's on your lips inside. Yeah. But here you've just got the two ingredients. You've got beetroot, which we eat anyway.
Well, in this one you've got 5 ingredients.
Okay.
This one here. Where is it?
Oh, of course, you've got the CBD in this as well, have you? Yeah,
the CBD one's got 2 ingredients. Sorry, the plain one has got 2. We call it the Calm Balm. The Calm Balm has 2 ingredients, and the CBD beetroot has 7 ingredients.
Great. So what else has it got in it then?
So the CBD Calm Balm, CBD beetroot tint obviously has the CBD and then the lanolin. Then we have a plant starch to help suspend the pigment, because otherwise the pigment falls to the bottom. And then there's 2 antioxidants to keep the stability of the pigment.
to keep
So
it.
that's
Yeah, that's the thing. You
citric
start
acid.
adding things, but how lovely that you've got all those natural ingredients in there,
Yeah,
and it's, as you say, your superfood plant
yeah,
pigments and your
yeah,
antioxidants.
yeah. And
Brilliant.
what we're trying to do right at the moment now is, because the nipple balm was all about one product doing in multiple things, we've
Yeah.
now decided to commit ourselves to doing only products that have multiple uses. So, so for example, the CBD beetroot tint. Yes, you can use it on lips. You can use it on your cheeks. You can use it as a bit of eyeshadow on your eyelids as well.
Ooh,
So the idea is that everything can be used for multiple things. Like the nipple balm, you can use it as on your feet, on your hands. You can use it
yes.
for eczema. You can use it for a glossy shine. Like a lot
Yeah.
of makeup artists use it on the cheeks
Oh,
for
absolutely, Kerry. We'll just pat a
shine.
little bit here, when
Yeah,
she wants to kind of glow in front of the camera.
nice little glow.
And I
Exactly.
actually use the plain one as well on cracked heels.
Yes, really
Really
good.
good on cracked heels or really dry elbows. Really good
Yeah,
for the skin on the elbows.
yeah. I even use it on my scuffed up shoes when I've got leather shoes that are scuffed up.
Oh, brilliant.
Yes, yes. And I also use it on my ski gloves when I've got, because I have leather on my ski gloves.
Yeah,
And when the water, when just well, basically stops them from getting waterlogged. So you can use it for
yeah,
so many different things. Or like on flyaway hair, I have like these funny, curly
yeah,
things on the side of my hair. So I'll use it there to like, calm it all down a bit. I mean, you
yeah.
just have to, use your own common sense, and then
Play around with it.
you'll find lots of things to use it on. Old
There's
people,
so
young
many
people.
things.
Mm.
I love it.
So
And, your little tubes, I have to say, these have been my friends over the years. I've got them dotted all over the house. My kids have them. I've got them
yeah,
in my pocket. I've got them in my jacket pocket when I go out for a walk,
yeah,
because sometimes you suddenly find, oh gosh, I've been out for half an hour and my skin is really dry and my lips start to get, chapped and sore. I just
yeah,
never
yeah.
without it, actually. It's lovely to
Oh,
finally meet you after all this
very
time.
nice, very nice to meet you too. I mean, you've done so many amazing things. So I'm so impressed.
Oh,
So,
well, thank you.
yeah,
Well, it's all teamwork.
yeah.
Teamwork makes the dream work, as they say. And
Mm.
thank you for joining us today, all the way from Verbier. You're going to be out on the slopes again today.
Well, I suspect I'll be working today, but hopefully I'll find some time later on the week. Either that or do some yoga.
Nice. Really.
Yes.
Well, I wish you a really happy rest of International Women's Day.
Thank you. And you too. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thanks for joining in.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Oh, yeah, I think you have to go because I'm always nervous that I'm going to
How do I do this? Leave there.
press the wrong thing. I know, Nikki, how about that? You can use it on your shoes, clean your shoe leather. Amazing. Yeah, lots of chat actually. I could see going on Instagram during that little chat there, talking about eczema. And yeah, lanolin, really good. The purified lanolin, the pure version is really good. That is absolutely what I would suggest. And I mean, as I say, I have eczema. My kids have all unfortunately inherited the predisposition that I have given them in my genes to eczema. And I've written several books over the years about eczema. There's one actually, it's an Amazon ebook. I think it's called Dry Skin and Eczema. I mean, it's quite simple, but it talks a lot about all the different things that you can do and the different treatments that are available, both medical and herbal and nutritional and skin things that we can do as well. Lots and lots of ways that you never completely cure it because, as I say, it's a genetic thing. It's a predisposition that you have, but you can certainly help to control it. And that's what my family and I do. So yeah, really good. Nikki, I use the beetroot. So this is the little duo pack that Ponintine was talking about. So this has the CBD. Wasn't that interesting about healing? This cannabis oil, using it for healing the skin. I actually hadn't heard that in terms of using it with the lanolin. So this one has the little beetroot tint. I don't know if you can see, but that's the one that I'm wearing. And this one, which is the plain one. So that is just the CBD oil with the pure lanolin. So really interesting to try. If anybody has got little, patches of eczema, I used to get little round, what they call discoid eczema. And I used to get a bit here and a bit here. And I used to get it on my forearms as well. So yeah, I'd love to hear how you get on. So don't forget 15% off if you want to try it with Liz Loves, all in capitals. And that's on drlipp.com. So what else have we got? Lots of other lovely things. So I am actually feeling just a little bit parched, and I have got here, just looking to see if I had a cloth. Well, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try opening without a cloth. This is the Agua de Madre, Mother's Water. And this is made by a cooperative of really fab females in London. Again, we have a Liz Loves discount on it. And this is kefir water. Okay, so this is like a probiotic water drink. I've got two here. This is the original one, which tastes really good just on its own. And then this one, which I also am now slightly addicted to, is pomegranate and hibiscus. And you just twist the top. Oh, be careful. It's fizzy, it's fizzy, it's fizzy. Got it just in time, but that's good. You want it to fizz. You want it to fizz because that shows that it's live. You have to open it very slowly while I wait for that to fizz. I would normally perhaps open mine over a sink. I'll just wait for that to fizz a little bit because I'm going to pour some into one of my favourite mugs. This is an Emma Bridgewater mug, another fab British female founder who totally saved part of Stoke Potteries. Amazing. I've been up there, I've filmed with her. We actually had an article about Emma Bridgewater a few years ago in the magazine. I think we've got Martha, haven't we, on Facebook? Hi, Martha. Maybe you can find the link to that. It's in one of our back issues. But I think it might be on the website, lizelwellbeing.com, because it was great to go and interview her and to chat and to walk around the factories and to see all the ladies hand painting everything. And all these little, you can hear it fizzing, can't you? All these little dots put on by hand. Really, really amazing. I'm just going to have to let that fizz away, I'm afraid. I've got some tissues down here, so I should have got a cloth, shouldn't I? Look at that. Wonderful fizziness. Oh. So, yes, so agua de madre. And the ingredients in this, always really good to look at the label of the ingredients, are kefir cultured ferments in pure filtered water with organic cane sugar, organic figs, organic ginger, organic lemon, natural fruit extracts, and Himalayan salt. There we go. And then what happens during the fermentation process, whether you're having kombucha or kefir or anything like this, is that the good microbes feed on the sugars. So they are the ones that ferment it and digest it. So you end up actually with a very low sugar product because the bacteria have eaten all and digested all the sugar for you. So we don't get it, but you do. So I am now, I think it's safe to pour. It's a bit like pink champagne, isn't it? I wish you could smell it, actually. It smells so good. Anyway, it will. Oh, that is nice, really tasty. But one of the reasons I wanted to mention Emma Bridgewater is that she has designed a really lovely mug for International Women's Day. So, and I was supposed to have had one to show you, but it was sent with DPD, I think, and they've lost it. So really sorry that I can't show it to you, but I can show you, you know, the Emma Bridgewater style. But do check them out because it's a lovely website and they've got lots of lovely things, and it's a great British brand to support. And I think lots of us love Emma Bridgewater, don't we? Oh, that is good. So, a couple of other things. Talking about female healthcare in particular, just because it is International Women's Day. And one of the things that's been really popular actually to talk about here and also on my podcasts has been the probiotic for women. This is the Octibac one that I've talked about a lot. And the reason that I really like this, and I've genuinely bought this and used it for myself for years, is that it has two particular strain of beneficial bacteria, the Lactobacillus reuteri and the Rhamnosus, which are proven to be helpful for pelvic health. So particularly any kind of vaginal issues, dryness, UTIs, repeated urinary tract infections, cystitis, bacterial vaginosis, all those kind of things. And what I like about this formula is that they have clinically tested it and it's been proven to reach the vaginal area. So really good. It's all about evidence-based, and it's about having studies and trials and making sure that these things really do work, and they are protected enough to survive the intense gastric juices, all those stomach acids that some probiotics may be knocked out by. So you really need to have brands that have done the research and know and can prove that actually they do end up repopulating the gut and actually working in the area that you want them to. Hi Nicola, hi Sheila, hi Laura, hi Christine. Just saying quick shout outs to our friends on Facebook. Everyone's saying hi. Hi there, Kaz. Nice to have you with me. So Optibac, because I talked about this, I actually did a little film on YouTube talking all about pelvic health, because it's just such an untalked about area. It's seen as, you know, quite embarrassing and something that we don't really want to talk about, don't really want to mention. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it out there. So I filmed a little film talking about it and about all the different things that can help, including this, and put it on YouTube. So it's on the Earle Wellbeing YouTube channel. And Optibac got in touch and they said, thank you very much. We saw that you did this. Would you like to offer your community a discount? So we said, yes, that would be great. So that's how it all happened, really. It's just one of those kind of organic things. And they've given us the discount, but it does end at the end of March. So it's worth getting because they've given us 20% off, okay? So 20% off is a really significant saving. And you can buy their like triple pack. So if you want to really stock up, they're at a discount anyway on their website. And then you can apply the Liz Loves on top. So it really, genuinely, I have to say, I have stocked up. And I would recommend anybody who's interested to do that. So it's on the Optibac website, and it's only on this supplement. They do lots and lots of supplements, but it is the discount for Liz Loves is just on the For Women supplement. Okay, so if you want that, you need to head there before the end of March. Other things that you can get at a discount at the moment, but again, you have to be quick, is Newson Health. So Newson Health, they are the supplements created along with Dr. Louise Newson, Menopause Doctor, and she doesn't kind of appear promoting them because she's a doctor, so she, is not going to be seen to be promoting products, but she's very happy. She sells them in her clinic to the people who she sees for her menopause work, and she's kind of opened it up to the rest of us, which is really good. And I do rate them. I do rate her very highly. Massive shout out to Dr. Louise. Come on, should we have some hearts for Dr. Louise? All that she's done for female healthcare. I mean, she deserves a damehood, in my opinion. Massive hearts to Dr. Louise. She's going to be way too busy to be watching, I'm sure, but I hope somebody will feed back the love. Yeah, loads. Oh my goodness, so many hearts. Absolutely. She is the real deal. I have to say, I've had the huge privilege of getting to know her quite well over the years since first writing my first menopause book. And the more I know about Louise, the more she impresses me. And, what I think a lot of people don't realize is the work she does tirelessly behind the scenes. I mean, I don't know when she finds time to sleep, to be honest. And she'll be emailing and doing stuff at the weekends, and it's all to help advance female healthcare. She does so much behind the scenes, totally unpaid, to educate GPs, to lobby MHRA about changing their menopause guidelines. She's working at government level. She's been feeding into the whole COVID pandemic with the estrogen research. She's setting up the menopause charity, setting up the Balance app, which is a free app. The amount of work that's gone into that, and it's free. She's giving it to the world. So Louise, you are gold medalist today in my eyes, and I'm forever grateful for everything that you do for me and for my fellow womankind. So her supplements, which are Newson Health, like this, really plain, straightforward packaging. They're not fancy, but what's inside is really the important thing. Are available on Emma Ellis Flint's website. So she's another lovely, fab female. Hi, Emma. Big shout out to you. She is a fully qualified nutritionist. She's an amazing chef and recipe writer. She's got a great book, and she helps a lot of midlife women. She really has a focus actually on menopausal women's health and eating and diet and all of that. And she's got a tiny website with a little shop, and we've got access to that. And we have a discount. We have 10% again with Liz Loves on all of the Newson Health supplements. And that ends on the 14th. Okay, so you've got about a week to go to stock up if you want. And these are the ones that I stock up with. These are the ones that I take. So I take both of them. They've got two versions of magnesium. I take both of these. This is the one I take in the morning. It's called Berry C Complex. And this has magnesium, and it also has vitamin C, pomegranate, blueberry, plum. So all those lovely purpley foods. Interesting, wasn't it? Talking about beetroot and putting that on the lips because of the anthocyanins. Again, having that here with pomegranate, blueberry and plum. And this, it has the magnesium ascorbate and the vitamin C. It's a really good formula. I really like it. I take one every morning when I take my other bits and pieces, which I should go into another day because, you know, how long have you got? That's quite a lot. But this is one of the ones that I do definitely rely on. And then in the evening, about an hour or two before bed, I take the Magnesium Plus, and this really helps my sleep. No question. And what I like about this one is it's got 3 different types of magnesium in it. And again, when I did my live with Emma, she explained the importance of having all these other nutrients around the supplement to work synergistically in the body, because the body doesn't really just very often like one specific thing. In some cases it does, but mostly, particularly with the actual vitamins and minerals, they work together with other things. So in this compound, for example, it's got B vitamins in with it, and we know that B vitamins can really help with the nervous system and can help us feel calm, and they really help work together with the magnesium. So this has magnesium malate, magnesium citrate and magnesium ascorbate, and I take one of these before bed, and absolutely it's one of the things that I think is really helpful for my sleep. So I will be stocking up on those. And then the other one of her products that I really like is this thing called Serenity. And Serenity has, again, the B vitamins, so it has more of the B vitamins. This is what I take for my kind of B complex, if you like. And then it has 2 other really interesting things in there, which Emma talked about. One was the hydrolyzed casein, and the other one was the L-theanine. And she was explaining that we also find L-theanine in tea. So when we drink cups of tea, we're actually improving our L-theanine. And again, it's really good at helping just with anxiety and calming, and just, I guess the name says it all, doesn't it? Serenity. It's just giving that feeling of calmness and serene feelings. And I take one in the morning and one at night of these. So if you want these, they do go out of stock quite often, so don't hang about. And if you want your 10% discount, it's available just until Sunday. Okay, that's on Emma Ellis Flint's website, which I think is Emma's Nutrition. I think emmasnutrition.com, and just use Liz Loves, all in capitals, as usual, all together, one word, and that gets you your discount. So before I go, I want to just do a few messages and notices. Where are we? Thank you. Gosh, lots and lots of questions coming in. Where do I buy my lovely headbands? That's from Julie. Oh, Julie, that's from another fab female, Annie Reed at Sansom Reed. Really lovely things. I've got some really beautiful new ones actually that she's just sent me, which I'll show you on Friday. I'll save those for Fashion Friday. But again, we get 10% off all her accessories, so belts and headbands. Such great things, you know, if you just feel like, you know, transforming your look. I didn't actually manage to do my hair much today. I've just scrunch dried it. But it's just a really simple way of, you know, making yourself feel a bit fresher and brighter. And of course, really practical, because you can use them to keep the hair off your face if you're doing makeup. So that's where those are. Mary says, do you post your magazine to Australia? Yes, we do. Post it wherever you like. You just have to pay the postage, which, you know, in some cases can be expensive. But if you want the magazine, this is the current one. Yep, we will post it. So any magazine subscription queries or inquiries, you need to go to Warner's. So Warner's are the company that do all the mailing, you know, because they work with the printers. It goes from the printers direct to Warner's, and they deal with it all. They've got a really, really good team. It's what they do. They're a magazine subscription service. So they work for lots of the big companies, and they also help to do our subscribers. So if you go to lizearlewellbeing.com, you'll see there's a button at the top and it says buy the magazine. When you click on that, it actually takes you through to Warner's. It takes you through to their website. And I have to say, big shout out. Natalie, another great female. She runs our account at Warner's. Thank you. They, during lockdown, they've all been working from home. They managed to work really quickly to make sure that they could still reply to emails and phone calls, you know, getting all the phone lines diverted and switched over. So there's a number you can ring. You actually speak to a real live person here in the UK who can help you, or you can email them. So, you know, please do if you have any subscription queries. And there is always an offer. You know, we always really try and give really good value. So at the moment, you can get 6 issues for the price of 5. So you get a free one. So it's 6 issues a year because we're bi-monthly. And this one is the March, April, which I hope you're loving. I hope everybody, hopefully everybody in the UK by now, if you're a regular subscriber, you should have received your copy by now. So thank you for posting all your pictures. I love seeing where it ends up. Seeing some amazing pictures. And don't forget, if you tag me, particularly on Instagram, then I can repost them and pop them on my stories. Maybe you're enjoying it with a cup of tea, or maybe you've taken it out on a walk, or maybe you're sitting with a, you know, cat on your lap enjoying it, whatever. Love to see. So do please share. And actually, we always have special offers in here. So it will, for example, you know, give an overview of some of the Liz Loves discounts that we have and that we can share. And what we also do is we link with my jewellery team. So Liz Earle Jewellery is a separate team of mine who run it. And this, inside the front page, you'll see I'm actually wearing it, is my Neroli. And the Neroli, for me, it's just such a classic design. It was actually the first piece of jewellery that I ever designed. And it's botanically accurate. So it is an actual little orange blossom, which is the Neroli flower. And it's the symbol of love and femininity and fertility. So perfect for International Women's Day. And I wear mine a lot. And in fact, I remember going to the Live Twice, which is my charity, the carol concert, which alas, we couldn't do this last time, but absolutely hoping to make up for it with a double brilliant one this year. Please, fingers crossed, we'll be able to do that. And I wore my Neroli. In fact, I think I might have worn 2 Nerolis. I kind of had them one below the other because I just like layering jewellery. And a number of you who came to that carol concert were wearing your Nerolis. It was almost like a little kind of fraternity symbol. It's like, oh, I know. It's probably my most iconic piece, I would think, is the Neroli. So it's kind of part of the sisterhood. So anyway, if you wanted to get one, they come in rose or yellow gold for May, which is the 24 karat fair trade gold, and there is 25% off. Thank you very much to my jewellery team for organising that. So that is a saving of £45, and you just need to use the code Neroli. Easy. At the checkout, so Neroli, Neroli, and that's lizearlejewelry.com. If you've got the magazine, you can see all about it there. And it does come in a really pretty little box, by the way, with a little card of authenticity telling you about it. This is from Charlotte on Instagram. Hi, Charlotte. You say, thank you for all the information you share. I'm finally starting to learn more about what I'm going through. I imagine this is talking about all the menopause chat. Thank you for always brightening my day when I see or read your words and advice. Great, thank you. Well, I hope your day is brightened. This one from Karen on Instagram. Thank you for such an informative podcast with Dr. Tina Pears. You are definitely helping to transform the health of my family. Well, thank you for that. Now, before I go, just a quick reminder, if you haven't listened to my most recent podcast, please do. I was very busy over the weekend talking about it. I recorded it last week with Dr. Tina Pears, who is this amazing doctor. She's a hospital consultant. She's worked in women's healthcare. That's her speciality. She works a lot with menopausal women. She's got it on Instagram. I think her Instagram is the Menopause Consultancy. And I first came across her because she's helping Lily with her histamine. So her real focus is histamine intolerance and something called MCAS, which is mast cell activation syndrome, which is the autoimmune condition that we now know that Lily has. So she was really very, very helpful in diagnosing that for Lily, and she's very much part of her treatment journey and hopefully her journey to recovery, which is going to be slow, but we hope that it will be full and complete at some point. Anyway, she has been doing lots of research on histamine and COVID, interestingly. because she has obviously had a lot of patients with COVID or with long COVID. And she saw the similarity between MCAS, this mast cell activation syndrome, and long COVID. And she put together a protocol using nutrients, using antihistamines, because there is this histamine link with our immune system, and had amazing success, really transformational success with patients with long COVID. Anyway, she wrote this up last year when she was really seeing it amongst her own patients. She'd used it really successfully on about 55 patients of hers. And so she contacted, the NHS England and Public Health England, NHS, whoever, MHRA, and they were a bit dismissive about it. Anyway, she is about to have a paper published on it because UCL, which is the big teaching hospital in London, have also just finished a trial, and they found it to be incredibly successful. So really great. I mean, I'm just so, I can't champion these women working in healthcare enough, because the difference they are making to practical everyday lives is just phenomenal, not only in their own spheres of female healthcare, particularly for midlife women who so often get neglected and are just told to just buck up and deal with it. It's just a natural part of getting old. No, it's not actually. Well, lower estrogen is, but it's not just something that we have to buck up and deal with, because it's something that can be helped. And we can feel so much better if we get the right information. And whether that's about histamine in foods, whether that's about replacing estrogen, whatever it is, there's so much out there that can be. And I know from all your comments and messages, many of you have been transformed by this information. And I'm just so grateful for the medics who take the time out of their unbelievably busy, hectic schedules to talk to me, and I can then, through my different channels, through the magazine, through books, through podcasts, through whatever I have at my fingertips, to share the word. And that is really my motivation, is just to try and get better quality, evidence-based, impartial information. I'm totally unbiased. I have no funding from the pharmaceutical industry. Trust me, it's just, that's not where I'm at all. It's about getting good quality, evidence-based information that will help me and my family and my girls and my friends and my community. That is really what it's all about. So I guess great on International Women's Day to just have the opportunity to shout a little bit louder about all that than usual. But last week's podcast, it's the Friday 5, and you'll find it on your podcast app. Thank you. You'll find it on your podcast app or on LizEarleWellbeing.com. And please download it and listen to it, because it's so interesting. It's relevant for everybody, guys, girls, young, old. And it talks about vitamin D. And I gave a hint on Friday when I talked about it, saying there was an earth-shattering piece of news in that podcast. And I hope you've all listened to it. But just in case you haven't, I'll tell you this little piece of news. And that is that when they were doing the analysis of vitamin D back in the day to work out how much we needed, so it's called the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, or the amount that we need to have to keep us well. When they came to vitamin D, which is actually more of a hormone than a vitamin, but anyway, that's another story, they got the decimal point wrong. So they put the decimal point in the wrong place. So we're actually taking 10 times less than they thought we should be. Isn't that extraordinary? 10 times less. So, if you're taking 400 international units, say, as your recommended daily amount, it should actually be 4,000. So I think, this is something that I am going to go down the rabbit hole with, because I just think this is extraordinary. We know how important vitamin D is for our immune system. We can see the immune response. We can see that people with higher levels of vitamin D do better if they get COVID. They end up having better outcomes if they're in intensive care or wherever. And if we're being shortchanged by a factor of 10, isn't that extraordinary? Already the government says we should all be supplementing, but of course they're using out-of-date information. And I find it extraordinary, because I did say to Tina on the podcast, why hasn't this been changed? Why hasn't somebody corrected it? If you get something so wrong, surely you go back and you correct it. And apparently there have been many calls to correct it over the years, and it never has been. And you think, why? Why would that be? Anyway, don't take my word for it, because I'm just a mere intermediary. Okay, I'm just the researcher, the writer, the communicator. Go to a website which is called vitamindforall.org. So you can imagine what the subject is, vitamindforall.org. And if you look at that, you will see that's where it tells you about this statistic. And perhaps more interestingly, there are, I think, at least 220 senior medics from all around the world. These are all professors and people leading research establishments, top doctors. And they talk about why we need to take vitamin D. And interestingly, they put the amounts that they take. And you can read the list. It's a long list. You can scroll all the way down and you can see. And they write what they personally take in terms of vitamin D. And an staggeringly high number of them are taking 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 international units a day. Really interesting stuff. Anyway, that was just one of the pieces of information from my podcast on Friday. So I talk about, or rather Tina talks about, vitamin D, the antihistamines and this whole histamine connection, and something called ivermectin, which is a really interesting drug. Very safe drug. It's been used, I think 3.6 billion doses over the last few decades have been used globally. And I was actually quite busy on Twitter at the weekend. If any of you are on Twitter, do give me a follow on Twitter. Twitter is, I don't find it a very comfortable place to be. It's not friendly like here. We don't sit and have cozy chats on Twitter. Twitter is about, somebody once said to me that that Twitter is like standing in a crowded pub shouting. And it feels, not that we're allowed to do that at the moment, but it does feel a bit like that. You know, I don't feel, particularly as a lone female, it's a very safe space, but it's important because it can connect with a lot of people, and it connects with a lot of medics and academics and researchers. And what's interesting and useful, particularly for me as a journalist, as a writer, is that you have lots of links that you can click on. So I'm able to share a lot more data. So a lot of the links and the studies and the surveys and things that I find, I can really easily just repost on Twitter. So if you're not on, do look me up. I'm Liz Earle Me. And there's a lot more about ivermectin that I can do on Twitter. So I use my Twitter account, I guess, more for some of the medical stuff and connecting with other researchers. So that's kind of what happens over there. So if you haven't seen it and checked it out, then please do, because it's, as I say, it's easy to click. Whereas it's not always easy to click, is it? Especially on Instagram, we can't really click. We can on Facebook. Thank you very much, Martha, for putting all the links up. I see you've just put the link up to the article on vitamin D. So thank you very much, Karen, for talking about that. If you would like to, if you haven't yet done so, I think that some of these podcasts that I'm doing are really important. The information is really important. And one of the ways to get that information shared more widely is if you're able to give me a 5-star review, because what happens is the little Google spiders or the little, app people at Apple, they monitor and they can see. And if you get a lot of 5-star reviews, then they tend to highlight you more and make you more easily shared and found. So if you think that something like this is important, then you can help to be part of that by actually just, it's a really simple thing to do when you listen to the podcast. You can just click, or you can actually go and leave a review as well if you would like to. Then I really appreciate that, and I often read them out actually on my Friday Fives as a thank you. So thank you very much. So my goodness, I can't believe that an hour has raced by. Thank you for being with me on this International Women's Day. It's always a chance to celebrate and highlight the women that in your life, I think, that you admire and that you love and that you connect with. And this is just such a lovely community. So it's been a real joy and a pleasure to be with everybody here. So I wish you a great rest of the day. Have a really good week. There'll be more stuff going on YouTube tomorrow. I'm filming a couple of things in my kitchen later on today, which I shall put onto YouTube. I'll be back here live on Wednesday. I've got another in my menopause series going live on YouTube on Thursday. I should be back on Friday, obviously, with another live, plus another Friday 5 podcast, plus the newsletter, which goes out every Friday. So make sure you're on the list. If you want that, you can sign up for it at lizearlewellbeing.com. And we've got some good things that we're going to pack into that on Friday. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look at all those hearts. It's just so great to see. Oh my goodness. Talking about the Life Code GX report. Yeah, we need to talk about that. We do need to talk about that. Glutathione. Yeah, I'm using one at the moment. I think it's a British brand called, is it called Young and Earth? Something like that. Anyway, I'll find out about it and I'll put it up there. But yeah, I am doing a lot on that. Look at all those hearts. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we love Dr. Louise. Loads and loads of hearts. Yeah, Jane Lewis, Diane Danzybrink. Yeah, brilliant woman to follow. Absolutely. Sarah Ball. Yes, Dr. Sarah Ball is just, yeah. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Nikki. That's a lovely comment. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really lovely to read. Really. Thank you. You like the podcast? Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah. Hopefully we can all meet up one day. Wouldn't it be great to have some live events? Hopefully, when we're all let out soon, it would we would really have to work on that. I'm going to work on my team to see whether we can do something, do a kind of a, I don't know, a Liz Loves Day somewhere with, you know, really interesting people coming to talk about different things. Maybe we could have little stalls with all these different things that, you know, with discounts and stuff. I know I always like to have a bit of retail therapy going on. Anyway, I'm thinking out loud now, so I get into trouble when I do that, but I think that would be lovely. Thank you. Thank you from Australia. Very nice. Thank you. Yeah, the same happened with spinach and the decimal point. Yeah, they put that the other way. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, I know so many, so many. Oh my goodness, so much chat going on. Lovely to be with you. Thank you. Apologies to Facebook and YouTube for it being the wrong format this time. But hopefully I will get to grips with technology. It's not my strong point. Anyway, sending you lots and lots of kisses and hearts. Thank you. Have a great day. Happy International Women's Day. Take care.